All right, let's dive into a book that has, no joke, changed millions of lives. We're talking about Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Today we're going to break down the core ideas, the big takeaways that can help you, well, take control of your own life. And it all starts with one single, really powerful idea.
And this quote really sets the stage for everything. Only the one who makes his destiny with his hard work gets the good fortune. See, that's the whole foundation right there. The core belief is that you are not a victim of your circumstances. Covey's entire framework is built on this idea that you are the architect of your own life. And these 7 habits, well, they're the tools you're going to need to start building.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the choice to be effective. Then we'll get into what Covey calls the private victory. After that, the public victory. And finally, we'll wrap up with the habit of renewal and how to put it all to work. Let's get started.
Okay, so let's start with the big one, the choice to be effective. This is really the foundation for everything else that follows.
And that choice is habit number 1, be proactive. You know, this isn't just a place to start. It's literally the core mindset of every single effective person. It's about making a conscious decision to stop just reacting to what life throws at you and to actually start taking control.
And this is where you can really see the difference. Think about it. Reactive people, they're always pointing fingers, right? It's the environment's fault, my boss is a jerk, the school is terrible. They are totally focused on the problems. But proactive people, they flip that script completely. They turn their focus inward and ask themselves, okay, what can I do about this? What are my strengths? How can I find a solution? They take ownership of their actions and, the results.
So, where do proactive people put all that energy? Well, they put it in what Covey calls the circle of influence. And that's just a fancy way of saying it's the stuff in your life where your choices and actions can actually have a direct impact. Instead of wasting time and energy worrying about things they can't change, proactive people pour all their effort right here, on what they can do. And what's cool is that over time, that circle actually starts to get bigger.
All right, so once you've made that choice to be proactive, you move on to what Covey calls the private victory. This is all about mastering yourself. Because let's be real, you've got to win the battle inside your own head before you can ever hope to win out in the world.
And that brings us to habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's profound. It's about knowing exactly where you're going before you even take that first step. Think of it like a destination in your GPS. Every single turn, every action you take should be measured against getting you closer to that final destination.
The big idea here is that everything in life gets created twice. Seriously, think about building a house. First, there's the mental creation, right? The architect has to drop the blueprint, the map. You visualize every single room, every detail. It's all in your head first. Only after that mental map is perfect do you start the physical creation, the actual construction. It's the exact same for your life, your career, even just a simple project. You have to visualize the success first, and then you go out and build it. Okay, so if habit 2 was all about creating that mental map, habit 3 is where the rubber meets the road. It's put first things first. This is all about having the discipline to actually follow your map. This is the physical creation, where you prioritize what you do every single day based on that big vision you created. It's all about learning to focus on what's truly important, not just what's screaming for your attention and feels urgent. So once you've achieved that private victory, once you've got yourself sorted, you're ready for the public victory. You've gone from being dependent to independent. But the goal isn't to stop there. The next step is interdependence, working effectively with other people.
And this starts with habit 4, think win-win. This one is a huge mindset shift for a lot of people. It's about truly believing that life isn't a zero-sum game. For you to win, somebody else doesn't have to lose. Success isn't a limited resource.
Just look at the difference here. The win-lose mentality is all about competition. If I win, you have to lose. It comes from a place of scarcity, like there's only one pie and you have to get the biggest slice. But the win-win mentality, that comes from a place of abundance. It believes there's plenty to go around for everyone. The book uses a great analogy. If you have a chapati, don't just fight over who gets the bigger piece. Instead, believe that by working together, you can figure out how to make more chapatis for everyone.
All right, now for what might be one of the most important and probably hardest principles of communication you will ever learn. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood.
I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We spend our whole lives learning how to talk, how to argue, how to make our point, but when do we ever learn how to truly listen? Most of us, and I'm guilty of this too, we don't listen to understand, we listen to reply. You know how it is, someone starts telling you their problem, and your brain is already formulating your response, your advice, your, oh, you think that's bad? Let me tell you story. True understanding means shutting that part of your brain off and just listening, deeply, empathetically, before you even think about opening your mouth.
Now, what happens when you take that win-win attitude from habit 4 and you combine it with the deep listening from habit 5? Well, you unlock something truly amazing. You unlock habit 6, synergize. This is where the magic of creative cooperation really happens.
So what is synergy? Well, it's the idea that 1 plus 1 can equal 3, or 10, or even 100. It's all about genuinely valuing the differences between people. Instead of seeing a different opinion as a threat or an argument you have to win, you see it as an opportunity. It's about combining different viewpoints and mentalities to create a brand new, better solution that no single person could have ever thought of on their own. And finally, we get to the habit that holds all the others together. This is the one that makes everything else sustainable. It's what keeps you from burning out and makes sure you can keep growing and being effective, not just for a week, but for the long haul.
And that is habit 7, sharpen the saw. Just think about that image for a second. If you're trying to cut down a tree with a dull saw, you can push as hard as you want, but you're just going to get exhausted. The smart thing to do is to stop, take the time to sharpen the saw, and then the work becomes so much easier. This habit is the refresh button for your life. It's about taking time for renewal so you can stay effective.
And Covey is really clear that this isn't just about, taking a 2-week vacation once a year. This renewal has to happen across 4 key areas of your life. You've got the physical, exercise, nutrition, the mental, reading, learning, the spiritual, meditation, time in nature, and the social/emotional, connecting with people, empathy. If you neglect any one of these, the whole system gets thrown out of whack. Real, lasting effectiveness is about keeping all 4 of these areas sharp.
So there you have it. We've gone through all 7 habits, from mastering yourself in the private victory to working with others in the public victory, and finally, the habit of renewal. But, knowing this stuff is one thing. It's powerful, for sure, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't do something with it.
And that really brings us to the only question that actually matters right now. Looking back at these 7 habits, which one jumps out at you? Which one habit, if you started practicing it today, would make the biggest positive difference in your life right now? Don't overthink it. Just pick one. And take that first step. Thanks for watching.